Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2026, a date that for most of us means uh, overpriced roses or maybe scrambling to find some chocolates,
If you're lucky.
if you're lucky. But if you were in Bangkok this year, near the Pathumwan district, the vibe was, well, it was different.
Yeah, definitely not a romantic night out. Instead of couples, you had thousands of citizens. Instead of gifts, you had grievances. Very, very loud grievance.
And noodles. We have to talk about the noodles because apparently nothing says democratic crisis like a bunch of people eating noodles on the pavement.
It sounds strange, I know, but in Thai politics, everything is symbolic, even the menu. And, the atmosphere in Bangkok since the election on February 8th has been just electric.
Messy feels like an understatement. We've got a group, the independent citizens, demanding a full nationwide recount.
We have a badminton court in Chonburi that has basically become a political crime scene.
And the Election Commission, the EC, is getting hit from all sides.
It's the perfect storm. So for this deep dive, we've pulled together a ton of on-the-ground reports, live streams, press conferences from this past week. The vision isn't just a recap, but to figure out how this one district might be the domino that knocks everything else over.
Okay, so let's start there. Valentine's Day, Bangkok Art and Culture Center. You have this independent citizens group led by a guy named Kantapat.
Right.
And what struck me is that this didn't feel like the usual red versus yellow shirt protests we've seen before.
That's the absolute key here. Kantapat was very, very clear. This isn't about attacking Futai or Boomjatai or the People's Party.
It's about the referee.
Exactly. It's about the EC. They're questioning the integrity of the whole process, saying the vote count was just full of, quote, suspicions.
Which brings us back to the noodles.
Yeah.
Why were 6 people sitting in a circle eating noodles? It's such a specific image.
It's performance art, really. First, there are 6 election commissioners.
Yeah.
So 6 people, 6 bowls and noodles.
Okay, got it.
And in Thai slang, there's a connection between, making a mess of something and noodles. So they were basically saying, all 6 of you have made a complete meal of this election.
And they were banging pots and pans while they did it.
The classic noise protest. It's impossible to ignore. But beneath all that theater, the demands were actually really technical. They want a total recount nationwide.
And they're pointing to this thing called bad kaeng. I've seen that phrase everywhere.
It translates roughly to limping ballots or jump ballots. It's a math problem.
Okay, explain it to me like I'm 5.
It's simple. If 1,000 people sign the book to vote at a polling station, you should find 1,000 ballots in the box.
Right. One person, one ballot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe 999 if someone gets distracted. Yeah. But you can't have 1,005. That's physically impossible. Bad kaeng is when those numbers don't match. And they claim it was happening all over the place.
So it's not just a capital city problem. This anger is rooted somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. To really get why people are so furious, we have to leave Bangkok. We need to go to the epicenter of all this. Chonburi, District 1.
This is where things get wild.
This is where the story goes from a protest to like a political thriller. Chonburi District 1 isn't just some random place. It's a major battleground.
Right. Chonburi is kind of the Detroit of Thailand, right? Lots of industry, factories.
That's a huge part of it. You've got this clash of 2 political worlds. On one side, you have the old power. That's Suchart Chomklin from the Boomjatai Party. He represents what they call the big house system.
The big house. Sounds a little ominous.
It's the traditional patronage model. The local influential family, they take care of everyone. You need a job for your son, you go to the big house. The local temple needs a new roof, the big house pays for it.
And in return, you deliver the votes.
It's transactional. Tangible results, but then you have the new power.
The People's Party, Prachashan, Warisit's campaign.
Exactly. They don't represent the village, they represent the factory. The industrial workers who move to Chonburi for a job. They aren't loyal to the local big house. They care about ideology, structural change, minimum wage.
So it's the fault line. Old patronage versus new ideology. And that's when things get tense.
And that tension just exploded at a municipal gymnasium. That's where they were storing the ballots.
Not a bank vault, not a police station.
A badminton court.
You cannot be serious. A badminton court. I mean, the security there is usually just a sign that says, please wear non-marking shoes.
Well, the security here wasn't much better. People filmed the ballot boxes arriving in. Like regular pickup trucks, just thrown in the back.
No armored vans or anything.
Nope. But the thing that really sent everyone over the edge, the thing that went viral, was the seals on the boxes.
The plastic ropes.
Yes. Legally, these boxes are meant to be secured with special numbered cable ties. you know if they've been tampered with. What citizens saw and filmed were boxes tied with just random plastic rope. Some had no seals at all.
That's how I tie up boxes for recycling, not the democratic will of the people.
And gets worse. The final nail in the coffin was the trash can.
Right, the discovery in the trash. What was that?
Citizens found official vote tally forms, the Form 511, where you write down the final score, crumpled up and thrown in a trash can near the counting site.
Wait, actual official documents in the garbage?
That's what it looked like. Can you imagine? You see the boxes tied with string, and then you see the paperwork literally in a pile of rubbish. For so many, that was it. That was the proof their vote was being thrown away.
Which brings us to the main character of this whole saga, the girl in the Liverpool jersey.
Rain Bingerporn. She became an instant icon overnight. Just this young woman in a football shirt and glasses.
And the footage shows her crossing a police line and just opening the ballot boxes herself.
She does.
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second. I get the anger, 100%. But you can't just walk past cops and start opening ballot boxes. That's a crime pretty much anywhere in the world.
It absolutely is, and the authorities are treating it that way. But her defense is fascinating. She argued she wasn't tampering. She was demonstrating.
Demonstrating what?
That they were already unsealed. She was trying to show the media, to show everyone watching, look, these lids aren't locked. The seals are fake or missing. It was an act of civil disobedience to prove a point.
So I'm not breaking in. I'm just showing you the door was already wide open.
That's the argument. But the state did not agree. The local EC director filed charges against her and 2 others, and they are not messing around.
What are the charges?
Trespassing, damaging property, obstructing officials. We're talking about a potential prison sentence of 1 to 10 years.
10 years for lifting a plastic lid.
And this is the part that is truly chilling. She could also lose her right to vote for 20 years.
20 years. Wow, so she's a young activist, and they could basically remove her from civic life until she's middle-aged.
And that's what legal experts are calling a SLAPP lawsuit. Strategic lawsuit against public participation. The goal isn't just to punish her. It's to scare everyone else into being quiet next time.
But her lawyer had this brilliant counter-argument, right? It was like a piece of legal jujitsu.
Yes, Norset non-tumtum. He raised this incredible point, he asked. If the law says a ballot box must be sealed with a proper numbered cable tie.
Okay.
And these boxes were just tied with flimsy plastic rope. Were they, legally speaking, secured ballot boxes at all?
Oh, that is clever.
Right. Can you be charged with breaking a seal that, under the law, never existed in the first place?
So the argument is, Your Honor, it wasn't a ballot box. It was just a plastic tub full of paper.
He's basically using the EC's own sloppiness against them. It's turning into a legal war zone.
So while that's all happening in Chonburi, the People's Party is attacking the EC on a much more technical front. This is where we get the barcode conspiracy theory.
And this is a huge complaint from their spokesperson, Parrot Item Wachara Sindhu. He's talking about the QR codes, or barcodes. They were printed on the ballots themselves.
Now, barcode sounds efficient, right? My carton of milk has a barcode. Why is that a threat on a ballot?
It's all about secrecy. In a secret ballot, there should be absolutely no way to connect your specific ballot paper back to you, the voter.
Right, so my boss can't check who I voted for, or someone who paid me for my vote can't demand proof.
Precisely. The fear here is that these barcodes could be linked back to the voter list. If an official or a vote buyer gets that data, they can match the barcode on the ballot to your name. The secrecy of the ballot is gone.
It essentially turns your secret vote into a public receipt.
That's the fear. Paris says it just opens the door for massive corruption and coercion. And on top of that, there was another, even simpler math problem.
The green versus pink ballots.
Yes. So every voter gets 2 ballots, a green one for their local candidate and a pink one for the national party list.
Okay, simple enough. I get 2 sheets of paper.
Right. So the total number of green ballots used and pink ballots used should be almost identical, maybe off by 1 or 2. But in some polling stations, the difference was in the thousands.
Thousands! How is that even possible? The thousands of people just, I don't know, eat the pink ballot.
That's the question everyone is asking. The EC's first response was, it was just a display error on our website.
The old, it was a glitch defense.
A classic. But Parrot fired back, saying, we're not looking at your website. We're looking at the physical whiteboards at the counting stations where your officials wrote the numbers down with a marker. A website glitch can't explain that.
It really feels like every answer from the EC just created 3 more questions. So where are we now? The government is forming. Boom Jai Thai and Phu Thai have the numbers. They've announced their coalition. The train is moving.
The train is definitely moving.
Yeah.
But the People's Party is still trying to pull the emergency brake over Chambiri.
So what was the final verdict from the EC on District 1? Did they do the recount?
No, they ruled against a recount.
Even with all the videos, the trash can, everything.
Their official reasoning was that while there may have been human error, there was no evidence of dishonesty that would have actually changed the final result.
So we were sloppy, but not corrupt.
Essentially, they declared the election honest and fair and closed the investigation.
I can only imagine how well that went down with the protesters.
About as you'd expect. When the trucks finally came to move the ballot boxes, at 10 p.m. at night, by the way, which never looks good, the crowds were there booing, shouting cheaters. It was incredibly tense.
And the People's Party is suing, right?
They are. They're going after the EC under Article 157 for dereliction of duty. One of their MPs, Ice Ratchanok, even posted that the new government ministers were coming from a cheated election. So it was getting very personal.
But just to be fair here, the People's Party has had some accusations thrown its way too, right? Something about an I.O.
Yes, and that's important context. An I.O., an information operation. A former member accused them of hiring a company called Spectre C to basically run a troll farm.
So the accusation is, you're saying we cheated the physical vote, but you're cheating the digital conversation.
That's the back and forth. Parrott, for his part, denied it completely. And in a show of transparency, he invited the media to come inspect their fourth-floor office where this supposed I.O. center was.
And what did the media find on the mysterious fourth floor?
A construction site. The whole floor was covered in blue tarps and dust. Parrott basically said, look, we're renovating, we're fixing the air conditioning.
We're fixing the AC. I mean, that is either the complete, honest truth or the most conveniently timed renovation in political history.
But, you know, whether it's true or not almost doesn't matter. It just shows the level of total distrust. Each side believes the other is manipulating the system, just in different ways.
So let's bring it all together. Why does this one district in Chonburi matter so much? A government is forming, life goes on. Why is this a big deal?
Because it's not about one seat anymore. It's become a crisis of faith.
Faith in the system itself.
Faith in the independent organizations that are supposed to be the umpires. The EC is the referee. If everyone thinks the referee is either biased or just incompetent, the game itself falls apart. There's an old Thai proverb that was used in the source material, Nam Phuang Yo Dio.
The single drop of honey.
Exactly. The idea that a single drop of honey spills and it starts a chain reaction, an ant comes, then a lizard eats the ant, a cat eats the lizard, a dog attacks the cat, their owners start fighting, and pretty soon the whole village is on fire.
And Chonburi District 1 is that drop of honey.
It could be. Because if people believe their vote can be dismissed as human error, if they feel the system is rigged against them, that distrust spreads, especially for those new power voters, the young people, the factory workers. It tells them the system has no place for them.
It's just wild that in 2026, we're still arguing about crumpled paper in a trash can. We have smartphones that can track our location to within a few feet.
And that's the paradox. The state can no longer operate in the dark. The days of just trust us we counted correctly are over. Every citizen is a journalist with a camera. If the process isn't radically transparent, the result will never feel legitimate.
It seems like the gap between what people expect, total transparency, and what the state is capable of providing is just getting wider and wider.
And that gap is where the instability grows. Because when the institution designed to be the impartial judge, the EC becomes part of the fight, who's left to referee the game?
And if the public doesn't believe in the referee, what happens to the players? It makes you wonder, if we can track a pizza delivery in real time on a map, why is it acceptable for our vote to vanish into a black box for hours or days? Maybe the problem isn't just one district. Maybe our 19th century democratic hardware just can't run on 21st century software.
And if the system doesn't get an upgrade, the users might just decide to crash the whole server.
On that slightly alarming thought, we'll wrap up. This story is obviously far from over. We'll be keeping a very close eye on those lawsuits against Rain and the other activists.
And we'll see if that fourth floor air conditioning ever gets fixed.
I'm sure it will be working perfectly by the next election. Thank you for listening to The Deep Dive. If you learned something new, share this with a friend. Stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next one.